everyone, this is Lovelin Johnson, and today we're going to be talking about the law of modeling from the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. The book starts with a conversation between two derelicts. They're sitting in a park bench, and one looks at the other and says, "The reason I'm here is because I refuse to listen to anyone." The other person looks at him and says, "The reason I am here is because I listen to everyone." So we have two people in two extremes, one who listened to nobody and the other person who listened to everybody. What is the right balance? The difference between thriving and merely surviving comes down to one thing. Who do you listen to? You can't listen to every voice, or you cannot just avoid and push any voice that comes to you. You shouldn't be able to discern the right voice, and you should allow them to speak into you. What is the law of modeling? The law of modeling states that it is hard to improve when you have no one but yourself to follow. As I was reading this book, I was thinking of my own scattershot years. I remember from, I would say, 2018 to 2024, I got on this serious growth journey, so to speak, where I invested in reading the right type of books. I constantly evaluated and reflected on myself. I focused on good habits, and I really had done a great job in that window. But even with all that great job, I didn't have models. And so my growth journey in that 5-year window wasn't great. And then I invested in mentorship in the John Maxwell team. You wouldn't believe, it's just been less than a year since I invested on mentorship, and the growth that I have gained from that point on is exponential. So if you ask me what changed, nothing. Actually, in terms of discipline, in terms of what I do, in terms of how I approach things, have been the same. But entering into this mentorship relationship where people are seeing things, they've walked on that journey that I'm walking through and giving me this perspective of how I should be thinking. And all that has literally opened my eyes. And now with that input, I'm able to do bigger, better, faster, smarter. So the question to you is, do you have good mentors in your life? Because you will be surprised about the exponential growth that you would get when you have mentors who could speak into you. We're going to be talking about a 5-part framework that helps us decide on who we should be listening to. So remember the derelicts. One listened to nobody and the other listened to everybody, and both didn't serve them well. So we are going to learn on who we should invite into our life so that they can speak life into us. The number one characteristic of someone you want to have as a mentor is asking the question, do they have a worthy example? What does that mean? Often people are highly competent, but their character may not be good. We are not looking for perfect people, but you want someone to have this moral values, so to speak. And if it doesn't exist, then it's probably not wiser to invite them into your life. So when you want to have someone as a mentor, look for competence, but also look for character. And that's the perfect combination to have. Number 2, availability. Think about proximity over prestige. So let's assume you are in a corporate setting, and let's assume you're just starting your job. You're entering into the job market and you happen to start at the lowest rung. Although one day you aspire to be a CEO, you don't want to invite your CEO as your mentor because there are many levels between you and the CEO. So what could you do? You could probably invite someone who's 1 level up or 2 levels up to speak into you so that you could climb that. The reason is they walked the journey that you walked just recently, so they will be able to help you in a more meaningful way. And they probably have time for you compared to a CEO whose time is probably really limited. Also, something to remember is as you grow, so let's assume you are in this level, you went up this level, you may want to change your mentors. It's not that you're disloyal to them, but it only makes sense because as you are learning and growing, you change your mentors based on the level that you are in. And that helps you in your growth journey. The third principle is proven experience. There's this wonderful Chinese proverb that says, to know the road ahead, ask those coming back. What does that mean? Someone who's walked the journey knows the good and the bad and the ugly. So they can tell you, you know what, there's opportunity here, but be careful here. So they have walked the journey before you, and because of that, they can impart on this wisdom to you. So ask the people who have just walked the journey, because then it is going to help you in your own growth journey. The fourth characteristic that you should look for is, do they possess wisdom? Because the whole point is they have to be competent in what they are doing in order for you to invite them as mentors into your life. So there's this beautiful story in the book where a company's manufacturing unit comes to a grinding halt. The machinery doesn't work, people are just looking and not knowing what to do. The repairman shows up and he has this little black bag and he walks around, is very quiet and humble, and he walks around. And one particular machinery he pays attention to, and then he looks at it and then just pulls out his hammer and taps on it. As he tapped, the machinery all came to life. Everyone went back to work. The next day, the repairman sends an invoice, and it was for $1,000. The manager who received the invoice was shocked, and he said, "There's no way I'm paying him $1,000. I need an itemized bill. All he did was just came and tapped." The repairman sends an itemized bill. $1 for the tap and $999 for knowing where to tap. Often we value people based on how much time they give. But think about, do they know where to tap? Because mentors are those people, they see potential and they can help you on where to tap. So do they possess the knowledge? So you don't have to value them based on the amount of time they give you, but what they say. It could be this great nugget that you could take and run with it, and when you implement, you can have exponential growth. And that's the $1,000 hammer story. I want you to remember that, because it's not the amount of time that makes a difference. It's knowing where to tap that makes a difference. Number 5, friendship and support. The question you should ask is, do they care? Who are they as humans? One of my favorite quotes is, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So ask yourself, are they people who care about me? Because when you answer an yes for it, everything else will fall in place. So there is this multiplication effort that happens when you invite good mentorship. So there could be areas in life that you're working on. Find mentors based on different areas, invite them into your life, ask for coffee date and connect with them and value their time. If they tell you to do X, Y, and Z, do that and go back to them. That would make them so happy and they can pour life into you. So I would encourage you to look for mentors. If you have to pay them, invest in those mentorship, because the results are exponential. So to conclude, when you look back on your life, you're always going to have people who were your greatest assets and the ones who were your greatest liabilities. And you have to have the discernment to invite the right people into your life. Remember the 2 derelicts. One said they listened to nobody. The other one said, I listened to everybody. Both were wrong. You have to invite the right people into your life to speak into you. So I'm going to leave you with these 5 questions when you are looking for mentorship. Are they a worthy example? Are they available? Do they have proven experience? Do they possess knowledge? Do they care? If your answer is yes to this, you have to invite those people into your life, and you have to be intentional in building those relationships. You can have the scattershot approach, and you will be so busy, but you will achieve very little. But when you have the strategic mentorship approach, you will get better faster. So how could you apply the law of mentorship in your life? The number 1 thing is choose a next step mentor. So you want to grow in this particular area, who could mentor you for that next step? Invite those people into your life and learn from them. The next thing is build a circle of consultants, because not one person is going to be good in all the things that you want to grow in. So you may have to invite someone for communication, someone for leadership, depending on where you want to learn and grow. And you need to invite those type of people to speak into you. And then the last one is follow the long term models wisely, because remember, their character matters because they have an influence over you. So watch for their private life as much as you would for their public life, because it's having an impact on you. I hope you found this lesson helpful. Next week, we are going to be looking at the law of expansion. I hope to see you there.